Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot, and today I'm doing a reading with the Bon Sequitur first edition tarot, this adorable modern square deck. And today I'm going to be doing this reading with a 9-card, well, it starts out as a 9-card spread. A spread developed by Marilyn from Tarot Clarity, and it's kind of her signature spread. And it, because it requires a little more cards, it's better to do it with smaller cards. So this deck ought to be just right for that. So I'm just doing a few shuffles more, having already done quite a bit of shuffling. And I've shown this deck in a couple different videos. But I don't think I've worked with it on my channel yet. So we just start out with the 9 cards. Move that up. 3. And move this over. And notice I didn't have a question. Tilt this a little bit. I think that'll maybe lift and tilt. And just scoot that over. So we start out with just kind of looking at all of it to get an idea of what this is about. Central is the Queen of Cups. This would be leading with interior emotion. Have a slight predominant of cups. 3 cups, 3 wands. King of Pentacles. Here we have poverty and dissension and family members. We have the Devil, our one major, the Queen and a King, Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, heart versus material. And here we have ready for action, but either meditative or it's kind of stuck, and then overburdened. So the next phase is adding things up. So we have 10 and 6, so that's 16. So I paused the video to shift things over a little bit and do my addition. The way that this works is court cards don't count, but you add the numbers of the other cards together. So 10 plus 6 is 16, and that is the Tower card. And 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 9 is 16, and that's also the Tower card. And here we have 2 court cards, so they don't count. And then we have the Devil, so that would be the Devil. And so then you add this isn't going to be. So previously I was thinking I just had 2 towers, but I forgot it's 2 towers in the Devil. So 16 and 16 is 32, plus 15 is 47. That equals 7 and 4 is 11, which makes our final outcome the Justice card. So let me see if I can shift this anymore. There we go. So this is a rather dark reading. I've had a couple days of really fairly dark readings. Like Marilyn, I've been trying not to see our national political chaos in my readings, but it's coming up a lot. We are, if the predominant is reading the Tower, and two, we have this house, this great edifice is being struck by lightning, and in this case, assaulted by waves. The Tower is crumbling, and is beset by devils being greed, obsessions. When you have, at the heart of this, we have the Queen of Hearts, seeing things through the emotions, seeing things with internally emotion and emotional control. It's hard not to see then this aspect of the King of Pentacles just puffing away, looking directly at her. You know, you don't matter at all to me, is the message from him. The devil was here. The devil was part of this equation's obsessions. She was trying to address those of morality, those with the sense of internal equity, that want to lead with their hearts, are directly addressing these devils of greed and avarice and corruption. And yet this King of Pentacles is saying, you know, puff, puff, you can't do anything to me. And then, because this ends up being the card that is the major for that row. The Tower is for this row, with, you know, people being left in poverty, a lot of unnecessary strife. This could be practice. A lot of times I read this as practice. So if this is practice, but it's a practice for some kind of dance, it looks like. So it's a lot of this performative stuff that's going on in the media. A lot of things are being done just to kind of stick their finger in the eye of people. But meanwhile, behind the scenes is this poverty, is memories of childhood. And certainly, if this is about the person that I think it's about, this, you know, that childhood was horrendous. It's very clear that the childhood was a bullying childhood, and that's what has come out of it. And also that there's every indication from all that I've heard of the family history that it was essentially a crime family. And that's why they had the lawyer that they had. And so then, you know, the edifice is crumbling down, and the edifice I see as this red, white, and blue. Yes, there's green here. Here we have, you know, being ready, looking forward, being ready for action, but then being completely sidelined. With depression and then overwhelmed, being afraid that you just can't make it through. And again, this is the result for this row also. So we have, you know, just destruction, chaos, being centralized around greed and obsession and vanity and the myriad of sins that we see. And yet our hope, our final hope, is justice. This is really our last hope in this situation. We do have the courts standing up, smaller courts. The Supreme Court, it's been iffy. The Supreme Court has really tied their own hands with some of the things that they previously decided. And yet we can still hope for this. Now, what we see in the scales is a feather and a heart. So I think this is true nationally. This is our hearts are being weighed, and against, the lightness of a feather. The sword is raised, ready for action. And I think we can only hope that our courts are. Now, that's my first reading, because that's where my mind immediately goes when I see a reading like this currently. Let's take a step back and look at this and see if this truly is a personal reading. It's dark. If this is a general reading for your day, one of the things you can be glad about is that the only major card that was in these initial cards was the devil, the devils. So a lot of these things going on in your life are focused on either the obsession of you or the obsession of someone else, and your unwillingness to extricate yourself from these things. Your unwillingness to say, this is bad for me, and get away from it. I just had a completely different conversation that I was having online with someone. I was reminded of, in India, there is a phrase about when you're attracted to someone that says, the person who overexcites you is bad for you. And we all know that person who we just can't stop thinking about. They just absorb our thoughts. They become an obsession because usually they're so sexually attractive to us. And we just can't get that person out of our mind. That person is bad for you. That person is a devil. And then that ends up being the remaining. So we have two towers and a devil. Some major edifice in your life is going to be crashing down. We have your family memories can't hold things together amidst the financial issues and the internal squabbling that's going on. This may be part of the family memories, and that doesn't end well for the family group. Here we have, if this is you, this is your internal heart, your internal knowledge of yourself, your equity, and your caring for others. But it's really being sidelined by something material that's going on that's just saying, forget that. You need to make some money, or something along those lines. And it's being driven again by this obsession that's going on. And then finally, you had something that looked like a really good project. It looked very promising. And the thing that we forget with this point, this beginning point where you're just ready to start out, the thing we forget with the Three of Wands is that you can always retrench. You can go back and start and make adjustments and start again, but we tend not to. We tend to become so locked in that we then just become completely sidelined and depressed and unable to move. And that can build on itself to becoming a point at which you feel like the burdens are just insurmountable. You have to be willing to let go of these burdens to get back to here and start afresh. Because if you don't, you end up here. You end up just simply crashing. And the hope for you, since we're doing this as a personal slant on this reading, the hope for you is justice. Now, justice is very closely aligned with temperance. Both are about balance and blending. Justice is about really having this internal sense of justice. And justice climbs. But justice also needs support. So, sorry, that's my dog shaking her head with her collar. Justice needs support, justice climbs. And just remember here that this knife may be for cutting through this, letting go. So this is, again, this card of hope, the possibilities of hope here, which I hope we can rest in for today, because we're going to need it. And I'm going to pull an oracle card to go with this. This is the Mary Queen of Angels oracle that was just sitting here on my desk. And so our oracle card, there we go. Thank you. We needed this. Optimism. I expect good things to happen, and they do. So, yes, it's a dark reading. And so it could be a difficult day. Just as I said, yesterday's reading was also kind of tough. The good thing I think about, if you know it's going to be a difficult day and you know some of the things you're up against, you can make better decisions. You can weigh things better. You can see things more clearly. This justice not only is not blindfolded, but she has on her blue eyeshadow. She is ready to look at things as they need to be and apply your optimism. If this isn't meaningful for you today, as with any reading, I really feel like readings kind of are, if they resonate, you know it. You feel it immediately. Oh yeah, that's really resonating. If it isn't, it's just an opportunity to look at this lovely new deck from this year, the Sequitur Tarot First Edition, and these cute little square cards with the bright colors. As you can see from this reading, they don't pull any punches. This isn't a sweetie sweet deck, even though it's bright and fun. This deck can be tough. So if it doesn't resonate with you, just take this as an opportunity to see this deck in action and see what you think of it, and have your own readings along with me. If it does resonate, try to hold on to these things. Hold on to your optimism, and above all, hold on to her and your sense of justice. She is central. This attitude, this part of your being is central with your sense of justice. Have a strong day. I'm Kara from Kara Tarot. Thank you.